So now we have learned about the window, what I can say, inner width, outer width, and location. These all things we have learned. So apart from that, there are also some of the options which are available in window only. These all we are talking about the window. Okay, so we are not talking about the document. We'll go to the document afterwards. So first we are talking about the window only, which will be available for all the pages. Okay, irrespective of the web page. So I am not talking about the google.com. I'm talking about the window. So that is nothing but a browser window. Now the window you will be having, for example, let's say that I have given where x is equal to 1. Okay, so now if I try to access window.x, then also I will be able to x1. So that means where I have declared this variable, I have declared this variable in the window. So that is the reason. So you will be able to access in the window.x also. So x, if you are trying to make it as a global, means automatically you are trying to make it as a window variable only. So that is also one of the concepts you need to understand it. So now, why? Because we are trying to execute the JavaScript in the browser, not in any other programming side or any other environment or runtime environments. We are not trying to run it. We are trying to run it in the browser. So that means the browser has some facilities. So these are all wrappers. So these are all wrappers attached to the JavaScript. This doesn't have nothing to do with the JavaScript. JavaScript is not doing anything. So JavaScript has a wrapper APIs which will deal with all those things. So for example, now if I try to access the x, so this is a 1, right? Now I will try to refresh this page. When I try to refresh this page, now I will try to access the x value. So when I am trying to access the x value, it is saying that x is not defined. So that means when I refresh this page, all the variables which are available, which have been declared previously and all those things have been deleted. So that means have been refreshed from the memory. So that means when a JavaScript is executed, or otherwise when a JavaScript we are trying to refresh this page, whatever the variables you have declared previously, all the variables will be gone. So that is one concept you need to remember. For example, let's say that I have a variable, I have declared it here. Okay, so or otherwise counter, I have a counter variable, so I have made it here like this. So whenever the user refreshes the page or something like that, I want to make counter ++. Okay, so that means counter should become 2. Counter will become 2. So like this I want to make it. So now I refresh this page. The counter has to increase it to 2 or 3, something like that. So but if I try to access this counter, now the variable doesn't exist. The counter variable itself is gone away. So that means we need to persist the variable. Persist the variable means we need to retain the value of that variable when the user refreshes the pages also. So now here there are not many different ways in the modern browsers available. So we have a database inside the browser also. Okay, SQLite database is also available. So with which the database we can able to access that one. So we have the cookie, so which was there in the long previous onwards it was available. Cookie is a small amount of data which we can store in the browser. And we have a local storage. So these are all the different ways so which you can access it. If I want to tell you, one option is the cookie. Okay, so cookie option also we can use it. And another one is the local storage. Okay, local storage, and is a session storage. Cookie means it will store only the small amount of data. That is nothing but what I can say is 1 MB of data or something like that you will be having. I didn't remember how much space it will, but it has a memory limit, so it will take 1 MB. So it stores only the small amount of data. That too, it will store it in a string data notation. Okay, string data notation. For example, if I want to get whatever the values that are available here, means I can access document.cookie. So it will give you all the things as a string format. See. So now here these are all divided with using a semicolon oriented. So here one semicolon. So that means this is one cookie. And here if you try to see, this is another cookie, semicolon oriented. And you will be having semicolon with space. So this is also one of the important thing you need to understand. So each cookie value will be divided with a semicolon with a space. The semicolon with space. So like these are all the different types of cookies. If you go to the sources, in the application, and here you will be having a cookies, and for this one, so these are all the cookies you will be able to see it. But if you want to access through the code, so like this you will be able to get it. OTZ667 means, so here somewhere you will be having OTZ6, yeah, this one, OTZ667 like this. Okay, so now, so these are all the different ways. So for example, some of the cookies we are not able to access it, right? So here you are able to see only some of the cookies only. So whichever is having HTTP only cookies, so secure, these all things, right? So these all things we cannot access it through the client side. Okay, these are all cannot be accessed through the client side. For example, NID. So this one is HTTP only, so we cannot access it here. So NID option is not available here. So those are HTTP only. So those are only added through the backend server. So this is all about the cookie concept. So cookie is the, what I can say is, whenever you have a small piece of data, so which you are trying to store it in the browser, so you can use the documented cookie. So this one is the old process. Old process means, so this one is long back onwards, the cookies are available, but this stores only the small amount of data only. So here, learn more. If you try to open this one, so here you'll be able to see it, something like that. I don't know where they have given it. They have not given it, I think. So this is all about the cookie thing. Cookie is a small amount of data we will be saving, and these are all the another options which I have told you, right? So these are all SQL. So this is the SQL, IndexedDB. So this is IndexedDB, and this is SessionStorage, LocalStorage. So these are DB based databases, I told you, right? And here you will be having LocalStorage and the SessionStorage. So these two are the things which you need to remember it. So this doesn't have any limit, so you can store it as much data as you want it, and these are stored in a JSON format. So here you'll be able to see, so these are stored in a object oriented format, not JSON format. Let's remember this one as an object oriented format. Okay, these are all object oriented format. So here you'll be able to see. So let's try to save some data in the local storage. For example, I have a counter where counter is equal to 1 or something like this. Now when I refresh this page, I will not able to access this counter value. Okay, so I will not able to access this counter value. And what I can do is, I can store this one in a local storage. So window dot local storage dot set item. So you will be having a set item. So you can give the key value name. So whatever the key value name. So I will be giving the counter, the name of this one, and I will try to store the value as 1. So now I have saved the value as 1. So if I try to check this one, local storage, so if you want, you can give the window. The window is always default, so that is the reason there is no need for us to give the window. If you want, you can give the window. If I want to get that item, I can get item and counter. So you will be able to see the counter. So now I am able to get the 1 as an output. So now if I try to refresh this page, okay, and if I try to use the same thing, I'm able to get the output again same. So I can take this value and I can do the counter and again save that one same data into this one. So I can take this value in a where counter equal to local storage dot get item of counter. Okay, so if you want, you can convert it into the integer, so by doing the plus. So now you will be having a counter value, and I will do counter plus plus. So I am incrementing the value, and I can use the same set item. Where is the set item? In this one I will use the counter variable. That's it. So now if I try to refresh this page, and if I access the same thing, so this time I am getting it 2 as the value. Why? Because previously I saved the value as 2. So like this, we can able to access the we can able to save the data, and also we can make it a persistent in the local storage. If you go into the applications, and here in the applications, if you go here, right, yeah, so in the local storage somewhere you will be able to see your counter. Where is our counter? Or what? Where we have saved it? Yeah, we are having this one in the application, in the Google. So here we are having the counter value. So this is how we can save the data. So this is about the local storage. Then what is about the session storage? This is also available in the window variable only. Session storage means we can also use the same things, set item. So I can use the same counter value, and I can use the value 1. So it will be saved. So session storage also I can able to access it. Get item of counter, the same thing, same like that, but we will be using session storage instead of local storage. So now I am able to get an output of 1. So then what is the difference between, if I try to refresh this page, so then I will be able to get a local storage to answer, and also if I try, I am able to get a, both the things are working fine. So then what is the difference between those two these two things is, for example, if I try to go to the next page okay, and if I try to, for example, if I go here and I open the same page here, and I am trying to open this one in the next tab, and here in the console, if I try to get a local storage, then also I am able to get output. But if I try to get this session storage, this one will not get. Session storage will stay in this tab only. Up to this tab only it will try to open. So if I close this tab, or if I open the same web page in another tab, means session storage will not be available. If I close this one also, now if I try to access this local storage, this value will be there, whereas the session storage value will go away. So that is the difference between local storage and the session storage. Session storage will remain up to this session only. Session means nothing but, so whenever you maintain this, refresh this page or whatever you do in this page only, the session will maintain. Or otherwise, if you open another tab, if you open this close, or you open this, you close this browser and open the browser, everything means session storage will not work. Whereas the local storage will try to save it in the local data. So this is the difference between the local storage and the session storage. And cookie is nothing but the small amount of data we will be storing. So same thing we will be using like this. But cookie has an expiry date. So here you will be having an expiry date. After this expiry date, this one will be deleted, and and cookie will store only the string data. So that we will be using only from the backend purpose when we are trying to use it, and when we want to authenticate the user, or when we want to maintain the session between the user in the backend side, we will be using the cookie. So if you want to maintain the data in the browser side and all the things, means mostly we're using the local storage and the session storage depending on the requirement. The session storage, if you want to delete it automatically, means if the user opens that one in the next tab, if you want to delete automatically, means we're using the session storage. Or otherwise, if you want to retain it like that only, means we'll use the local storage. That depends on the requirement. So these all the things are available in the window variable only. Okay, so these are all not related to the JavaScript. JavaScript doesn't have anything to do with the local storage or session storage. These all belongs to the browser features. So these all applications, session storage, these all belongs to the browser features, and you are making use of these session storage, local storage, browser features using the browser API. That is nothing but window object. So window object, using that window object, we are trying to make it. So this is all about the saving of data in the browser, how we can save the persistent data in the browser, local storage, session storage, these all things. So when we do these all the things, then you will be able to understand it, the project and all the things. So just remember these things.